Hello everyone! Once again, I welcome everyone to our channel World of English Exams. So this video is going to be the final part of the Cambridge IELTS 14 General Training Reading Test 4. So this is the final test in the book, and previously I have already released the first two parts of this test. If you haven't checked those parts, do that immediately, and I'm going to give the link for the same in the description box. So in this part, which is the long passage, so in the general training test you will have a total of 5 passages, of which 4 are shorter and the final one is lengthier. So we are going to cover that lengthier part in this video, and the two main question types which are covered are multiple choice questions and true, false, not given. So these are often felt to be tougher than the other segments of the test. So I'm going to teach you the method in which you can solve these questions very easily. So without delaying any further, let's kickstart today's video with the first set of questions which belong to the question type multiple choice questions. So previously also I have given you the detailed strategy for answering multiple choice. If you haven't checked that video out, please click on the link in the description box and it will take you right there. So let's see how to identify this question type, and then I'll tell you the method in which we are going to approach these questions. If you can apply the same thing in the main exam, so you are definitely going to get the desired score. However, practice is the key. So to attain perfection in any strategy, you need to first take up some amount of time to do some quality practice. Only then you're going to achieve perfection. So let's see how to identify this question type. So this is how it will look like, guys. So the first 5 questions, so if you can just increase the font, it would look something like this. The first 3 followed by the next 2. So this is what you will see in Cambridge IELTS General Training 14 Reading Test 4. So now let's look at the process in which you have to answer these questions. Before getting to learn the process, let me indicate that there are students who would like to first read the passage and later proceed with answering the questions. So if you are one among them, so this is what the passage is. So you can just pause your screen and just pause this video, read it completely, and later come back to the answering of the questions. So if you are ready, I'm going to take you through the technique with which you have to answer multiple choice questions. So it is a very simple and 3-step method, and this will work fine every single time. The problem with multiple choice questions is that whether it is given in the academic test or general test, it is definitely time taking. So and there is a strict time limitation when it comes to the reading test, that you have to answer the questions within a span of 60 minutes, and unlike the listening test where 10 minutes of time is given to transfer the answers, you don't get any extra time here. So how to solve this time management problem? Are you all ready to learn that, guys? Okay, so now comes the technique here. The first step is read the question only. Why am I stressing on this point is, students are wasting a lot of time in reading the options and trying to understand what each of those options mean. However, what I suggest is, if you're comfortable with that technique, yes, you may go ahead and solve it with that. But if you notice that you're unable to manage the time for getting the answers, then probably what I think is you should try to avoid reading the options. So you just read the question, understand what it means. You can read the passage clearly and then come back and select the right options. So that is the strategy which is proving to be very useful for the candidates. So if at all you would like to try this out, please do so. Please solve this along with me. I'm going to show you how to apply this strategy clearly so that you will get to understand. Then after you read the question, then you have to go back to reading the text very carefully. Then select the correct option from the given set of alternatives. Let me tell you that this technique will prove to be useful not just for selecting one right option, but also in multiple choice questions where you need to opt for two correct choices. So for both the question types, this strategy will work. So shall we start answering the questions, guys? So let's analyze the questions first. The 28th question. When comparing the Swiss transportation system to a tree, the writer emphasizes, and as I told you, we are not going to read the options. So the keywords here are when comparing the Swiss transportation system. This is a very important keyword here, and to a tree. So what is the writer doing? He is comparing the transport system in Swiss to a tree. So what is the writer's intention behind this? So now we have understood it. Now let's see how to approach this particular question, but before that let's analyze the second one. What is said about bus services in the second paragraph? So here the keywords will be bus services, second paragraph. So clearly the paragraph number is indicated, hence there is no more confusion. It is understood that the first answer will be seen either in the first paragraph or the initial lines of the second paragraph. Remember that answers for multiple choice questions are usually seen in a sequence, so you don't need to worry too much about that. Then talking about the 30th question, according to the fourth paragraph, that means third paragraph is not used. So according to the fourth paragraph, what were three-tone horns first used to indicate? So clearly the keyword is fourth paragraph, three-tone horns, and first used to indicate. First means initially they were used to indicate which of the following. Now moving on to the next question. What point does the writer make about post bus drivers? So the only keyword here is post bus drivers. That's it. Then moving on to the last question. What is said about the bus's automated announcements? So clearly the keyword here is automated announcements. So based on our analysis, we now have to read the passage clearly and understand how to get the right answer. So for your ease and convenience, I have given that paragraph which contains the right answer, and you can just look at it, try to read it along with me, and you will find it very easy to answer the questions. So here is the first question. When comparing the Swiss transportation system to a tree, the writer emphasizes. So let's read the passage which contains this information about transportation system and tree. So clearly I can see that the word tree is given here and the word Swiss transportation is given here. So let's continue reading. The Swiss Post Bus Limited is the largest of the country's 78 coach companies, okay, administered by the Motor Services Department of the Post Office. It carries over 120 million passengers each year and is carefully integrated with other public transport services. So the post bus system is integrated or connected or linked with other public transport services like trains, boats and mountain cableways. So there is a good network for the Swiss post bus. That is what I have understood. The Swiss transportation system resembles a tree with the larger branches representing federal and private railways and the smaller branches being the coaches and the twigs being the urban transit operators running trains, city buses, boats, chairlifts and so on. But the trunk that holds the tree, so trunk is a very important part of a tree. But the trunk that holds the tree together is the vast post bus network, without which the whole network will not function. So clearly he is telling that although there are multiple branches like various modes of transportation and all that, without the central post bus system which is functioning like a trunk of a tree, there would not be any connection, there would not be any sort of communication that's carried on. So that is very important. So here the writer is telling that how just like how the trunk of the tree functions as an important part, the Swiss transportation system is also playing a major role. That is what I have understood from this. So let's go back to the options now and read. Is he talking about the size of the system? No. How competitive it is? Did we read anything about it? No. How important the system is? Yes. So here clearly they are giving that, but the trunk that holds the tree together is the vast post bus network, without which the whole network will not function. So it's very important. That's why the answer is C. Then why not option D, the threat to the system? No, it's not talking about any threat or danger. So have you understood how easy it is to get the answers, guys? But if you waste a lot of time in reading the options, then definitely there might be some confusion. So let's proceed with following the same approach for the next question. What is said about bus services in the second paragraph? So clearly the keywords are bus services, second paragraph. So now let's directly read the text. There isn't an inhabited place in Switzerland that cannot be reached by some sort of public transport. So every place, every nook and corner of Switzerland is well connected by a network of public transport. That is what he's mentioning. Then federal law and the Swiss constitution stipulate that every village with a population greater than 40 is entitled to regular bus services. So here we are getting the keyword. So if a village needs to have a regular bus service, the minimum number of people have to be 40, greater than 40. The frequency of these services, what is the meaning of these services here? Bus services. So the frequency of these services is directly related to the population density. Population density means how many people are living there. Timetables are put together. So this is talking about timetables and not bus services. So we have understood that bus services virtually connect every nook and corner of Switzerland, and these bus services are available in villages where the population is greater than 40. But the number of bus service depends on the frequency or the density of the population. That means if more people are there, more number of buses will be operated, or more frequently you can see a bus service there. Let's go back and look at the options. Villages have a chance to request more buses. Did you read anything that villages can request more buses? No, hence option A is eliminated. New routes are introduced. Nothing about new routes. Bus timetables tend to change every 4 years. No. So here they are giving us timetables are put together 4 years in advance itself. That means they are not going to change. The final option, the number of buses that call at a village depends on how many people are living there. Yes, so it depends on the population density. Population density means how many people are living there. Hence, what is the answer, guys? Option D. So I hope you're following the strategy. Let's go to the next question. According to the fourth paragraph, what were three-tone horns first used to indicate? So quickly let's see where this word three-tone horns is given. Yes, so in the fourth paragraph, the first line itself mentions this. The three-tone horns can still be used to talk to the post offices from a distance. So if you want to talk to the post offices from a distance, then we make use of three-tone horns. So three-tone horns means maybe the horn is blown thrice. By altering the combination of the tones, the driver can announce departure of the post, arrival of the post, and arrival of special post, and so on. Wow. So by changing the tone of the horn, people were able to communicate what was happening. Then so that is one. And the musical language started in the mid 19th century, when the coach drivers would also blow their horns a certain number of times on approaching the station to indicate the number of horses needed to be fed. So giving the station master time to prepare the fodder. So they were also used as warning signals that the horses need to be fed. So that's a feeding signal for the horses. So the present use is that they are combining the tunes to suggest the arrival or departure of the post, because it says the three-tone horns can still be used. That means it's in the present tense. But the question says, what were these used first? That means initially. So in the mid 19th century, that means in the past, they were used to indicate how much time would it take to approach, so that the horses needed to be fed. So it's like a communication related to the horses feeding habits. So that is what I have understood. So come on, let's read the options now. How many coach horses required food? Clearly that is the right answer, because here it is given, indicate the number of horses. Number of horses needed to be fed. That means how many horses required food. So that was the first signal. But now the current signal is departure, arrival, and arrival of special post. How long the other options are not seeming to fit here. Hence, what is the right answer? Option A. Moving now to the next question. What point does the writer make about the post bus drivers? So this has to be about the drivers. So let's read it. Post buses often go to places that other means of transport cannot reach. So they are covering a wider network of areas when compared to other means of travel. Next, most of the drivers, now here they are talking about drivers. So most of the drivers therefore see themselves as educators and tour guides. So the drivers are seeing themselves, or they are functioning as educators. That means they are guiding the tourists, they are explaining about the various spots to look at. Although it is not in their job description, they are likely to point out the sites like waterfalls, gorges, and so on. And they are always ready to pull over for a photo opportunity. So if you want to click a photo with them, they are more than happy to join you. So that is what is being told about the drivers. So now let's go back to the options. Many choose to give passengers information about the surroundings. Yes. So clearly that is the right answer. But let's see why the others are not. Most are proud of driving buses without other forms. Are they proud? No, we did not read anything about it. They are required to inform passengers about sights seen from the bus. They are required means it is compulsory, but here it is given that although it is not in their job description, so they don't need to, but they are doing it out of interest possibly. Then they are not allowed to stop for passengers to take photographs. No, so they are always ready, in fact. So the three options are eliminated, which is leaving us with the first option, that is option A, which is the right answer in this case. Now moving on to the last question in this set of MCQs. So let's see what it is. What is said about the bus's automated announcements? So let's see where is it given about automated announcements. Switzerland's longest post bus journey and one of the highest crosses 4 mountain passes is an 8-hour trip undertaken by a single post bus. So did you come to read anything about automated announcements? No. So this route goes through several cantons, 2 languages, German and Italian, or 4 seasons, from burning sunshine to showers of heavy snowfalls, countless places of interest. One of the passes, called the Gotthard, is often described as the People's Road, probably because it connects the German-speaking canton of Uri with Italian-speaking Ticino. Like Switzerland itself, post buses speak. Yeah, so now it is talking about some announcements, some speaking. So like Switzerland itself, post buses speak in all the 4 state languages: German, French, Italian, and Romansh. And by law, their automated intercom announcements are given in the language of whichever canton the bus is passing through. So if the bus is passing through a German canton, then the announcements are heard in German. If it is passing through France, then it is heard in French. If it is passing through Italy, then it is heard in Italian. If passing through Romania, then the announcements are heard in Roman. So this is what is told about the announcements. So now let's go back and look at the options. They are given in the language of the bus's starting point. No. So as it passes from one canton to another, the language is changing. So option A is not the right answer. Then the language they are given depends on where the bus is at the time. Yes. So it depends on the location. Hence B is the right answer. Now let's eliminate C and D. They are always given in the 4 languages. No, it varies. Then the language that are given depends on the bus's destination. No, nothing is spoken about the destination. So that is why the answer is B. I hope you have understood the strategy of how to answer multiple choice questions. So shall we start with true, false, not given? The next set of questions belong to the type true, false, not given. So although it is a very simple question type, often students have a confusion in this. So basically here you will see a set of statements given to you, from which you need to read the text and confirm if they are true or false or not given. So in this case the answer can be true if the statement matches in meaning with what is given in the context. It is false if the information is opposite, and if nothing is given about the said statement, or it is partially given in the passage, then the answer is not given. So with this note, let's start answering the questions one after the other. So the first statement says, some post buses after the First World War were originally army vehicles. So the keywords here are some post buses, First World War, originally they were army vehicles. So let's read the context. After the First World War, Swiss Post bought a fleet of decommissioned military trucks. So military trucks is the synonym for army vehicles, which were converted into post buses. So initially they were military trucks, but later they were converted into post buses after the First World War. So are you able to understand that the meaning is matching completely? Hence what is the right answer? True. The answer is true. So let's begin the next one. The number of driverless buses. So driverless buses means maybe automatic buses or something like that. The number of driverless buses has increased steadily since 2015. So here 2015, driverless buses increased steadily. So that is what we want. Today the Swiss Post Office boasts one of the world's most advanced coach fleets, including fuel cell models and the world's first driverless bus. Okay, definitely there are some driverless buses. This was launched in 2015 in the town of Sion, the capital of the canton of Valais, one of the 26 cantons or administrative regions that make up the country. So here definitely they are talking about driverless buses, but have you read that their number increased steadily since 2015? No. So they're only talking about one of them, the world's first driverless bus. So no information is given about their increase, hence the answer is not given. The information is completely missing. So we shall proceed now to answering the next question. On the longest post bus route to Switzerland, passengers have to change buses. So passengers have to change buses means it's not a continuous route. Maybe people have to take another bus to reach their destination. So let's see, where is it given? Switzerland's longest post bus journey and one of the highest crosses 4 mountain passes, an 8-hour trip undertaken by a single post bus. Clearly it is telling us that there is a single post bus, but here it is given that passengers have to change the routes. Do they need to change the routes? Definitely not, because it's undertaken by a single post bus, hence the answer is false. Proceeding now to the next statement. The weather on the longest post bus route is likely to means there are chances, it is likely to include extreme weather conditions like too hot or too cool. So this is talking about weather. Let's continue reading from where we have stopped. The route goes through several cantons, 2 languages, all 4 seasons. Yeah, from burning sunshine to showers, heavy snowfalls, and countless places of interest. So does the weather keep changing? Yes, and there are extreme weathers as well, because it's burning sunshine, heavy snowfall. So definitely extreme weathers are there, hence the answer is true. It's very simple if you go with the meaning, guys. Once again I'm telling you. So moving on now to the next question. There is a widely used nickname for the part of the longest route used by post buses. So some one particular part of this route is nicknamed. So let's read. One of the passes is often described as People's Road. So what is the nickname? The Gotthard is called the People's Road because it connects the German speaking canton of Uri with Italian speaking Ticino. So this is why the nickname is given, and what is the right answer? It is true. Then moving on to the next statement now. Bus drivers training can be shortened. That means you can decrease the number of days. So you can reduce the number of days of training if they have driven buses before joining the post bus. So if they have some experience prior to joining the post bus, then the training period can be shortened. Let's see. Irrespective of the previous diving experience, definitely look, you need to look at the meaning, guys. Irrespective of their previous driving experience, drivers undergo lots of training. So the previous experience doesn't count. They have to undergo lots of training, but here they are telling that the training period can be shortened. Is it true? In fact, it is the opposite, and that's why the answer is false. So now let's proceed to the 39th question. In some villages, most passengers are school children. So in some villages, it's talking about villages, and passengers are school children, that is school going children. So let's see, some routes are not busy all the day, with the bus often carrying 2 or 3 passengers at a time. That's it. But for most people living in small villages, the post bus is of utmost importance. So in some villages, most passengers are school children. So clearly, if you can see here, it tells you it takes the village children to and from the school. But is it mentioned that most of them are children? So nothing is mentioned about who are the majority of passengers. Hence, what is the answer? It is not given. Now moving on to the last last question in this set. Buses carry only the rubbish that can be recycled. So the following sentence says, it collects the rubbish from the village, as Swiss laws do not allow dumping anywhere in the mountains. So but is it mentioned that this rubbish can be recycled? Have you seen that? Nowhere in the text it is mentioned like that. Hence, what is the answer, guys? Not given again. So this completes the final reading passage from Cambridge IELTS 14 General Training Book. So, and here is the answer key for the same. So, if you have understood how to solve this, and you can use this approach in your final exam as well to get your desired score. So, thank you so much for watching this video till the end. And if you have found it useful, please do give it a like, share it with your friends, and last but not least, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel World of English Exams, and we are immensely satisfied with the response that you guys are giving to our videos, and we hope to deliver such good content in the future as well. So please continue to extend your support and love. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, do that immediately, and check out our description box for the related videos in which you can learn the strategies and the tips for getting a high score in the reading test. So till I see you with the next useful video, happy preparation, guys.